people who have best examples among people. Al-Khwarizmi, Umar ibn Khattab, Salahuddin Ayyubi, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. What youngsters among these people do? They follow kuffar and drink. Fornicate.
A lot of people say that I'm not Muslim by what I'm doing. Taking your clothes in front of strangers and doing stupid, naughty things, it's just not on.
Abuse drugs. Play games.
You have a set number of hours you need to play. Sometimes I felt like I needed to play longer to stay better, to stay good, and to to keep up with my teammates, to keep up with the other players in the UK and around Europe.
Who they are. They're lazy youths.
There's a lot of heavy drinking included, and like I'm saying again, if you're drinking, heavily drinking has some measure, but it's not the case. It's not the case with the youth today. They're drinking heavily, and like they're not drinking to satisfy drinking desire. They're abusing alcohol, and they're even getting alcohol poisoning, and they end up in a hospital getting pumped up from the overdoses of alcohol, and some of them even die from it. Like there were 2 cases of 2 guys dying because they were heavily drinking and they jumped in the river and they were never found. Many of you are abusing drugs. Like some people consider that weed, hash, spliff, whatever you call it, is not a drug, but it can damage your brain cells, and they never repair again. I had some friends that are abusing drugs, and basically most of them start drinking, smoking cigarettes, smoking weed, hash, spliff, whatever you call it, pumping their veins, taking ecstasy, because they want to become part of some crew, part of some society, which for me is stupid, because some societies will never accept you, even if you do everything. Abusing drugs is really a big problem, because you start on some party with just a joint, and then you end up with your veins pumped, and then you end up in prison, or you end up in a grave, which is happening. You can get HIV if you're getting pumped up on some party. So drug abuse is really a big problem. I can talk about it for a long time, but that's another video. My point is, we as the Muslims in the West, especially because my viewers are from the West, we are trying to satisfy the kuffar, these non-Muslims who will never accept us, whatever we do. And we as the youth should understand that if we consider ourselves as Muslims, we should follow these people that I mentioned in the intro. Al-Khwarizmi, probably most of you don't know who he is, but you heard in school for him when you were learning linear algebra, which is his invention. And if he was lazy, he wouldn't be able to invent algebra. Also, he made Arabic numerals, taking Hindu numerals and adding 0, so they become more usable. And he had a lot of other inventions in mathematics, but I'll let you search about it. Also in the intro I mentioned Umar ibn Khattab, one of the Khalifas, and by some scholars he was one of the best rulers in Caliphate after Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And we all know that Umar radiallahu anhu was really inspiring individual. He is 100% citizen of Jannah, inshallah, and we should be inspired by him. Also, I mentioned Salahuddin Ayyubi, the martyr of Islam. I mean, he died in bed, but he deserved Jannah with all victories that he had. And like, he took over Jerusalem 2 times, which is like impossible for other people. And like, he bring the glory to Muslims after crusades 2 times. And yeah, also Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I don't need to tell you anything about him. He was the best example of all people of all time, even of all prophets. And if you want to know more about Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, try to find lectures and everything. I don't want to brag, but I even wrote a poem, Innocence of Muslims, My Respond. It's about Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his characteristics. And like, in that poem I say like, his characteristics are endless to count. Yeah, and I also say, to be close to him I must follow him. So we as a Muslims, especially in the West, especially youth, we should follow the Sunnah and Islam. Some of us are not able to follow whole Sunnah and whole Islam, but we should follow as much as we can. You don't need to change anything, like, if you're satisfied with your life, but being lazy will only lead you astray, and you'll lose a job, lose school and stuff, and you'll end up like a beggar or a homeless guy. So yeah, don't be lazy, don't be like I was, don't do stuff like I was doing, and try to follow Sunnah and Quran, because that's the only way you can. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace be unto you, and that's it for this video.